Ken, I don't want to, perhaps I'm not sure what's appropriate at this moment in terms of where you are. Maybe you don't want to talk specifically about it, but you are in Israel. And very concerning is that an Iranian missile hit a place very close to your apartment building recently, right?
Yes.
And okay, but you're okay. Can you just give us the atmosphere because that's very scary. How are you doing psychologically, or how are your neighbors doing? How's Israel? Give us the atmosphere and also perhaps just what you want to share about what happened to you.
Well, there's two atmospheres. There's the atmosphere of my friends who are saying, are you safe? Are you safe? We're worried. We're worried. And then there's the atmosphere within the country, which is strong, strong resolve and dedication to the cause and the cause of freedom, or as I call it, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness for everybody, versus the dictatorships, which are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness for me and my friends, but not for you. And so this never-ending battle of good and evil is apparent here, but the forces of good are very confident in themselves. And on the security side, when there is a um, missiles shot to the country, there's warnings you get on your phone. Usually get two warnings, and then there's sirens. And you have about 5 minutes to jump into whatever you want to jump into, put your sneakers on, and go to the stairwell, which is half protected, and then walk down to the basement, which is fully protected. Everyone in Israel has a house or an apartment building that has a safe room. It could be in the stairwell, or it could be in the basement, but in any case, it takes about 5 minutes to um, get your act together, get to the stairwell, and walk downstairs. And so I do that once or two times a day. The good news is that every day there's fewer missiles. So in the beginning, there was maybe a salvo of 75 or 50. Now it's down to about 20. Now they're still causing damage to some 20 areas, of course. But the various missile defense systems of the country shoot down about 90%. So still, if there's a salvo of 25, let's just say, that means two or three are going to get through and cause some damage. But at least the other 90% or so did just fine. And 20, 30 minutes later, your phone sends you a signal that it's okay to go back to your house or apartment.
This is just, one can just imagine what kind of way this is to live. So, how do you even get a good night's sleep? In other words, even when you go to sleep or try to go to sleep, this could happen at any moment during your sleep, right?
Any moment, anything can happen. And you're right, it does disturb your evenings. But for the past week, people have not been working. So you don't have to wake up 8 o'clock to show up at your office soon thereafter. So you can sleep late. But the country Homeland Security just announced that it's okay to go back to work. And because every day they're shooting fewer and fewer missiles, they usually shoot them at night, usually in the middle of the night, for maximum inconvenience to everybody. And but the country's coming back. But for a week, there were only pharmacies and supermarkets open. Now there's a few restaurants and other things open. So I would say the country is operated maybe 30% of what it should, uh, with everybody who can work at home working at home. But over the next day or two or three, I think into next week, the country will snap back to its normal state.
Well, thank God. But we hear about how the children of Sderot have been living for so long, and these sirens, and you only have a couple seconds or a minute or whatever it is to get to a safe place. And what I'm saying here too is that there are people just with who have the luxury of turning off their phone and going to sleep and not being disturbed. you don't have that luxury. You guys have to keep it on at all times, and there could be a siren at any moment, right?
Right. That's
Yeah.
exactly it. But by the way, humans are very adaptable creatures, and we figured out, and even the kids figure it out. I mean, when I go to the safe room in the basement, the kids at nighttime, the kids are in their parents' arms, trying to fall back to sleep. A few
Yeah.
of them are jumping around and playing.
Yeah. What is it like in the safe room when you're in the safe room with other people?
Oh, well, you get to meet the 40 people or so in your apartment building, and there's a camaraderie, and you see people that you hadn't seen, you never met, and then you meet them every night. So you meet a new group of friends, and so again, people adapt, but by and large, they just sit and watch television, the news services, and so they get whatever update is available at that hour in the morning, and then walk back to the apartment, try to go to sleep, and sleep as long as humanly possible, because you're not going to work the next day. But as
Right.
it's going into next week, I think people are going to be going back into work. But meanwhile, the Israeli Air Force is ferociously bombing Iran. I'm not a military historian, but I bet in the history of warfare, nothing's happened like what's happening in Iran.
Right.
Israel's basically going to destroy Iran within 10 days.
Well, I want to get to that. Just one more personal thing, and let's get to that. But my heart goes out to you, and but just for instance, the luxury that I have right now, I can just do this interview, and I think everything's probably going to be okay, unless one in a trillion something happens. But in your case, you look very relaxed. You seem like a very brave man because something could happen at any second while I'm doing this interview with you, right?
Yes, any second, I can get a notice, and then I have to jump because the notice gives me about 5 minutes before the missiles come.
Mm.
So, by the time you put whatever clothes you want on you and your sneakers and get to the stairwell, you gotta run. And once I dilly dallied, and by that I mean it was 6 minutes instead of 5 minutes, and boom, right near my apartment. But uh, due to luck or help from up above, however you want to look at it, I was okay. But I won't make that mistake again.